Hi, Carson. My name's Rachel, and I'm going to be your therapist today. I've already reviewed all the intake paperwork you had filled out, so there's no need to discuss anything along those lines. But I do want you to explain to me in your own words what brings you in today.
Hey, Rachel. So I'm a full-time grad student. I go to school online and I also work a full-time job. I have about 7, 8 weeks left of the semester, but I'm just feeling really overwhelmed and stressed out. Like I don't know if I'll be able to push through and make it through. I'm just really overwhelmed right now.
Okay. So with that being said, and after I had reviewed everything that you had wrote down on your intake forms, I wanted to bring something up to you and I wanted to tell you more about acceptance and commitment therapy. Would that be something you're interested in hearing about?
Yes, I'm open to hearing about anything that will help me out right now because I'm just really overwhelmed.
Okay. So, this is a certain type of therapy. Of course, it's a therapy, but it also goes deeper into two components. But before I start to talk about those, I'm going to break down acceptance and commitment therapy. It's also known as ACT. So, the A in that stands for accept your thoughts and feelings and be present. So, like you just described me, hey, I'm overwhelmed. So, I would bounce back to you and say, can you accept, that overwhelmed feeling and still continue to get through this season in your life? And then the C in ACT is to choose a value direction. So you're gonna go whichever way you see is most valued in your eyes. Like, what is your drive for being in school? Like, why did you decide to apply for your master's degree? What value does that hold in your life?
Hmm.
And then the T is to take action. So, with the A and the C being talked about, T is what are you going to do? Take action. Um, so bringing it back to the two components, values, this type of therapy values the guided action, and also the mindful action. So, with all that being said, I want you to notice your thoughts. Can you accept this overwhelmed season that you're going through right now?
Yeah, I think I can. I mean, I know it's just part of it. I signed up. I kind of knew going into working a full time job and going into school full time that it would probably be pretty overwhelming. I kind of knew that going in. So I feel like I could accept that.
Yeah, and like what are your grades like? How are you performing in your job?
So my first semester, I made all A's. And then right now I have all A's and one B. So I guess if I think about it, my grades are pretty good. And in my job, I'm doing fine. I haven't got behind. I'm still taking on some new roles and stuff too, and I've been able to keep up with that and the extra work. So I am still balancing my work life pretty good too.
Right. So, like you just told me, you're able to notice, like, hey, I am overwhelmed. However, I can also accept the fact that I'm doing great at school and I'm doing great in my job. So, maybe I can accept this feeling right now and it will pass. Um, so, another important question, like, what's important to you about finishing school? Like, what makes you want to finish school so badly?
I guess if I think about it, I've just always been passionate about getting into like clinical mental health counseling. And also, I mean, I'm a first generation college student. So my mom, she graduated high school, my dad didn't. So it's just a big accomplishment to me to even get a master's degree. I never even thought I'd graduate college. So that's really important to me just to finish this out being a first generation college student. So I guess I can think about that too.
Right, yeah, and what you just said, it touches perfectly on those values of that guided action. Like, what values are guiding, the action for you to finish.
Mhm.
Um, and then we'll also kind of touch base on the mindful action. So how do you notice those feelings of being overwhelmed when you're going through school? Like, how do you know, hey, okay, I'm overwhelmed right now?
Um, I guess I'll just feel like my heart starts racing a little bit. I'm just like, oh, I just feel really tired. Like I don't want to do this assignment or I don't want to do this. and I might get a little bit snappy with people, and that's how I know I'm just a little wound up and overwhelmed.
Right. And then whenever you notice, those feelings, those things happening to you, do you think maybe those occur because you know how important it is to be that first generation college student?
Yeah, I didn't think about that before you've asked me all these questions, but now I am kind of thinking like, well, maybe I am overwhelmed because it's kind of important to me. So yeah, I that does probably play a big part in it.
Right. Okay. Well, that is just like a brief introduction of what our future sessions will be about. But I really wanted to explain this to you and make sure it was okay with you that we talked about that just to see kind of how you felt about the acceptance and commitment therapy. So, do you think that is something that we could work on in the future?
Yeah, I definitely think I'd be interested in that, especially just from this little brief introduction. I already feel like it's kind of got me thinking, so I'm definitely open to it.
Okay. Well, thank you. And this will conclude our session.
Okay. Thank you.